wasn't even letting me join the Zoom.
You had the Brandon problems today.
I'm having Brandon problems. I know just what it's like to be Brandon.
Well, all right. I believe we are live on YouTube. You had the Brandon problems today. We are live. So questions before we get started with Danny on welcome week 8. Good to see everybody. Questions on the weeks 10, 11, and 12 assignments. So any specific questions you want us to address, or just kind of go through them?
Like the memo to the superintendent, it just says like interview some people. Is there any specific questions that you want to interview, or like just how's technology, or kind of what direction do we go with those interview questions?
You can take it in whatever direction you want. We don't have a set questions for you to ask. You could look through some of the gears we've done and maybe adapt some of those, like little, not the gear descriptions themselves, but the questionnaires that we've got linked along with those, that you could adapt or take a few from those that are relevant. You know, and there could be different issues in your district that you might want to focus on, or, you know, areas of strength and, you know, opportunities for improvement instead of
okay, so maybe like some areas that we might have been low on, we could focus our questions on those and then write a letter based on those.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And then the lesson, I think that's week 11, the lesson plan, that's just one lesson. It's not a whole unit, correct?
Correct, yeah.
And like how many technology things do you want in that lesson?
At least one.
Okay. Okay.
Just make it something that'll be useful for you. Yeah, don't make anything just to make it for us. Just, you know, take a lesson that could benefit from maybe some of the things you've been learning about, and focus on that a little bit, and try to, you know, think about SAMR and the model, and maybe try to, you know, take it from the R to the, or no, from the S to the R. Or think about those kind of things, or the TPAC model as well.
Okay, great, thank you. And then the last one, the tech training workshop. So you have like a survey, and there's like a lot of questions on there, and that would take forever for people to answer those. So do we just kind of pick and choose like some questions from that survey, or do you want them to fill out all of them, or what's your expectation?
Yeah, whatever is useful for you. Or if you know, if you want to decide between 4 or 5 different areas or topics or tools, something like that, just survey those and design a training on whatever comes out on top.
And ideally, this would be like something that we want to, oh, sorry, what did you say?
I just was asking if any other instructors had thoughts.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
So ideally, like the tech training workshop would be something that we would possibly teach to other members in our school.
That's the hope. It's not a requirement, but that's the hope.
Okay.
And hopefully you
all right, that answered
base it on
my
something
questions.
that is a need in your school or in your district. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Sure. Any other questions, clarifications on those weeks before we turn Danny loose? Hearing none, floor is yours.
All right, thanks so much. And thanks for being patient with me today. In 2020, 2021, I think we've all had to deal with our fair share of internet issues. Just how much longer until they get this under control? All right. Here we go. All right, week 8 is focusing on building the connected learning community. So kind of building on what we did last week with our PLN, and then continuing with other ways to continue to build your connected learning community. And then of course, there's the discussion and assignment that you should be very used to by now. So when we're talking about building a connected learning community, of course, We want you to be, helping each other solve problems of practice and share ideas of things that worked well or things that maybe did not work as well. But I think also we need to build a community that's really cathartic, because teaching is so hard. Teaching is one of the hardest jobs, and it's so easy to feel alone. So I want you to consider another reason why you might want to be a connected educator.
All right, going through the list with the spelling. You're checking your own list. Here we go. The first word was Blorski. I lost my Blorski at a carnival. B-L-O-R-S-K-E-E. E-E. The next word was tangentine. I eat my spaghetti with a tangentine. That it's T-A-N-G-E-T-E-E-N. Tangentine. The next word is spiku. Look, there's a spiku. S-P-E-E-K-U-Z-S-L-M-N. There's silent letters at the end of that one. Yep. Spiku. S-P-E-E-K-U-Z-S-L-M-N. Yep. It's not. Nope. It's actually from somewhere else, not here. The next word was amata. Students said they were sick. I said, what's the matter with you? W-A-Z-A-M-A-T-A. What's the matter? What's the matter? The next word is slippert. Be careful when you're sleeping. There might be a slippert in your house. Slippert. S-L-I-P-E-R-T. Slippert. Nice. The next word is ch-ch-ch. The horse was angry, so I said ch-ch-ch. That's C-H-C-H-C-H. Nice. Nice work. The last word is Rolaskatox. Rolaskatox was surprised when Jinx took the crown. That's R-O-L hyphen A-S-K-A hyphen T-O-X. If you didn't get the hyphens, I'm sorry, you got that word wrong. The word is Rolaskatox. The next word was spinach. My favorite food is spinach and artichoke dip. That's S-P-E-E-N-U-C-H. Spinach. The next word is shabola. Be careful that you do not catch shabola. S-H-A-B-O-L-A-S-K-P. More silent letters. S-H-A-B-O-L-A-S-K-P. Shabola. The next word is gur. My friend told me a secret. I looked at her and said, gur. That's G-U with an umlaut. That's 2 dots over the U. R-R-R. G-U with an umlaut. R-R-R. Your next word, number 11, is April Fools, because this is an April Fool's joke! Close enough. April Fools. Congratulations, turn in your test. This will be on your report card.
All right.
All right, going.
While many people would think that's funny, I don't think anyone except educators understand how hilarious and awesome it is. He is on social media all over. He always talks about like what kindergartners say, and it's so funny. But yes, of course, use your professional learning community to build educationally sound connections, but also connections with people who understand what it's like to be an educator. So hopefully you enjoyed that video, but I have found that these kind of connections that I can be real with and communicate and ask questions and then share a funny meme or two, that's wonderful. In addition to the funny side of educationally connecting, you've also been encouraged to start a blog this week. Now, that may not be your cup of tea, but linked in the slides are these top educator blogs that you may want to check out. So maybe blogging is something that you're really interested in. Maybe it's not, but you may find really great resources in checking out other teacher blogs. And then on the right side of this slide, I have the maybe blogs aren't for you, and that's okay. remember, there's other ways that you can build a PLC, a professional or personal learning community. And that can be, utilizing Pinterest. You can consume and create pins till your heart's content. Maybe videos are your thing, or watching videos or making videos. You can make your own YouTube channel, or follow other teacher YouTube channels. My favorite, it's not really a teacher YouTube. It's more of he's a professor. It's like a physics YouTube, but I have used it in classrooms in my classroom before. It's Veritasium. I'll put it into the chat if I remember, but it means truth in Latin. So Veritasium. So veritas means truth in Latin, and his channel is Veritasium. He is fantastic. And yeah, so that's a YouTube. I was looking also for teacher Facebook groups. There are so many. I'm a part of an elementary Canvas teacher group that legit, so many ideas nonstop and so much helpful troubleshooting. Also, I'm a member of an escape, what's it called? Breakout EDU. There it is. It was somewhere in my brain. Breakout EDU group that is super helpful if that's what you're into. If you're into making those Breakout EDU games, such a good time. So you can find a very specific group of people who are interested in the same things you are and passionate about the same educational things that you are. So my piece of advice down here in the bottom right-hand corner is use the platforms that you already use and love to connect with educators in that space. So maybe you're an Instagram person. Maybe it means making another Instagram account that's just for you to share things that work really well in your classroom. And then you can follow a ton of the educators that are present on Instagram and build that community and be a part of that community. Okay, so when we're talking about this week's essay, you're going to be talking all about budget. Now, when I was a classroom teacher, this was definitely something that I had no clue about. Not only did I not know about my school's budget or the district budget, I'm not like a great budget person in general outside of my educational life. So some of the words that we use when we talk about budget and funding for education, like ROI, return on investment, were completely foreign to me. But the DTL Utah site should be really useful to you. So if you go to dtlutah.org, it will give you some information on the DTL grants. This is where schools are getting a lot of the money for digital teaching and learning, so for technology. And basically, it's a big pot of money where every district and charter school can apply and say, hey, this is how I would use the money. And then USBE allocates the money, divides it up and says, here's how much you get, go with it. And it's basically just a way for schools to fund technology, or school districts or LEAs to fund technology in the way that they want to, making sure that districts have very much local control, but extra support than they may be getting directly from their school boards. There's also a site on UEN, which is uen.org/digital learning. I also encourage you to look over Utah's master plan. I read over that again in the fall of 2020, maybe the spring of 2021, when Katie and I were working on our dissertation on the digital divide. It was really interesting to read over Utah's master plan. I think it was written 5 to 10 years ago, to be able to see how far we have come and how everything that happened with school dismissal and COVID-19 really kicked us in the pants and made sure we were being true to what it was we wanted to do. So I just copied this slide from Tony last week. So the Adobe Education Summit is linked in there. URSA, the Rural Schools Conference, is closed. And of course, we have ISTE Live, which is a virtual conference that you can sign on to June 26th through 30th. So you can check those out. All right. I'm going to stop sharing because we addressed the final projects at the beginning of this recording, but we have plenty of time for questions, comments, general wonderings. Oh, I see you talking about Plurk. I remember Kevin Honeycutt. I think he was at no, I don't think it was the first USET I went to. Maybe the second USET that I went to. He was one of the keynotes and he was fantastic. I haven't used Plurk. I don't know if it's still a thing. It reminds me of the education meme that's like, teachers be like, log on to Plurk and check your bloopity blop and then make sure you get your Zmon, like whatever. Like we just have all the craziest words in education. Also tons of abbreves, which are super useful for parents and students. All right, I'm hearing radio silence. Maybe as we are just wrapping up, oh, alphabet soup, you're so right that we talk in, that's our language as educators, is just alphabet soup. Maybe each of us who are instructors and anyone else who would like to share, share what your favorite social media or way to connect with educators, so like educators is. So mine is Twitter. I use Twitter strictly for educational purposes. Also Pinterest. I don't know that I could teach without Pinterest. Carol says Twitter. What about you, Clint? Oh, you're muted.
I am. I try to get my space bar on my web page scrolled.
Wrong screen.
Mostly Twitter for me.
Twitter as well.
Yeah.
Tony says Zoom. That's a solid one. I think with how much we've used Zoom during the pandemic, I think we're going to continue to use it for just quick educator connectings, right? Like it doesn't have to be this 2-hour-long meeting that we're going to. We can all hop onto a quick 15-minute Zoom to connect. Brandon, Katie, do you have one?
Twitter for me, probably.
Twitter as well. What's your shirt? Cool art shirt.
This is my art shirt. This is my long time ago shirt. It's my acronym. Speaking of acronyms in education.
It's a long one.
UAFER. There you go.
Oh, all right. Oh,
I'll echo the Facebook group though. I like the the breakout Facebook group's fantastic.
Isn't it
There's some really
great?
good ones. There's a Canvas Facebook
something.
group. Chris Hott, my colleague, follows that much more than I do, but she's always telling me the highlights from there and all the things she's learning and stuff. So
they're so crazy useful. And I found that whenever I have a question that maybe no one in my Slack channel knows the answer to, I pop it on there and I get a response really quickly from a teacher somewhere in the US that has had the same problem, especially with so much Canvas adoption in the last year. Oh, Katie has shared groups in eMedia. They're definitely growing. So our eMedia collection has groups where you can share and connect, and Katie is working really hard to make it kind of the one-stop shop for educators in Utah. Thanks for sharing that, Katie. All right, team. That is everything I have for you. Thank you for those who are joining us live, and thanks for everyone who is watching the recording. We appreciate you. Oh, next week, we will just have a recording. Clint is in charge of it because of the holiday. We want you to be enjoying, celebrating America, and not worrying about logging on live for this class. So Clint, will it just be in the Canvas course?
Yep, I'll just put it in Canvas and I'll try to post it early in the week, Monday. I'll probably put it up.
Fantastic.
Katie, can I just do 2 minutes of a little preview of just a little part of my URSA presentation in the next couple of weeks? I know it's closed and people won't be able to go, so I just wanted to share just a little. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
No more than 2 minutes. Clint, would you be willing to give me access so I can share a short PowerPoint?
You should be able to. Let me know if not.
Okay, I'm going to give it a try here. And friends, I don't know if you've ever had an instructor sing to you in a technology class, but I got to give it a try. So if it annoys you, turn it off. Okay, turn the music off. And use this as a sing along too. So you have to sing along at least a word of verse with me. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's good. Thank you for sharing. When an eel bites your hand and that's not what you planned, that's
Amore.
when our habits are strange and our customs deranged, that's
Amores.
very good. When your horse munches straw and the bale's total 4, that's
Some more.
good. When
Katie, why are
Othello's
you doing this?
when Othello's poor wife becomes stabbed with a knife, that's
More.
when a Japanese knight uses his sword in a fight, that's
A samurai.
very good. My wife's coming in to shut me down.
That's
I
a reach
apologize.
out.
I have to stop now. But that is a little kind of like what Danny was sharing early on as far as the importance of language and the importance of connecting. You know, I'm Italian. Everything comes down to amore. Everything's amore. And so just wanted to share and thank you, Danny. Good. Yeah, I think that's wonderful. So anyway, for what it's worth, just wanted to share. Have a great week, guys.
That was fantastic.
That was fantastic. Any other questions? Anybody? All right. We'll see you live in 2 weeks. Enjoy your 4th. Don't shoot off any fireworks or, you know.
Not this year.
No starting any fires, please. Around Cedar at least.
Get your vaccines, wear a mask.
Use
Be safe.
a drone instead. That's what we're gonna do. Wish us luck.
Good luck. All right. Be well, everybody.